All right, folks. There are no kings in Rome. What do I mean by that, Matt?
There are no kings in Rome. Go on, kid. Explain.
All right. Well, there's a show again, an old school series, right? It was the Game of Thrones in the
There you go.
1970s called I Claudius, and in the first episode, it deals with Augustus and his role becoming emperor of Rome, but he was hesitant and he was always quick to remind people that there are no kings in Rome and that Augustus wasn't a tyrant. He was just the first among equals, later on to be called Caesar, emperor, after all. But there is a no king march happening, being promoted and allegedly promoted by Walmart heiress Christy Walton. Now, look, everyone has a right for free speech, but there's some things that are making me raise an eyebrow saying, what on earth is this? What is going on? What is happening? What is going on?
When corporations fund protests, you have to really wonder what the heck is going on. The No Kings protest that's happening all over America on June 14th, funded by Walmart. Right there, paid for by Christy Walton. Christy Walton is the billionaire heiress of Walmart, worth almost $20 billion. What do you think her end game here is? Like, is she really worried about authoritarianism or human rights abuses? Or is she just after cheap labor? Okay, over 70% of SNAP recipients and Medicaid users were full-time workers, and many of them are from Walmart. The irony is certainly not lost on me that the biggest organized protest against a so-called king is being organized by an oligarch. I mean, I don't think it's by accident that the bottom 50% of China holds twice as much wealth as the bottom 50% of America. Okay, China is the blue line, America is the red line. This should wake a lot of people up. Like, think about it. Why is China, where we get all our cheap goods from, why are they able to pay their workers, but not us? It's almost like they're trying to distract us from everything other than paying people a living wage. Let me know what you think.
So, no kings, no kings. Now, hold on. There's another thing here, too, folks. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, but we got to play this. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm sorry.
This Saturday, it's Flag Day. Happy Flag Day. It's also President Trump's birthday. It's also the day of his big North Korean dictator-style military parade in Washington. More tanks and guns unloading this afternoon outside Washington, D.C. Look at that. Saturday is also the day organizers are planning the next very large nationwide day of protest against Trump and what Trump is doing to the country. Even as Trump panics and inexplicably calls in the military over protests in Los Angeles, this Saturday's protests are being organized by a large coalition of groups and grassroots organizers in all 50 states, all across the country. They're calling it No Kings, the No Kings Day of Defiance. They said this today, quote, "The No Kings mobilizations on June 14th were already planned as a peaceful stand against authoritarian overreach and the gross abuse of power this administration has shown. Now, this military escalation, meaning what's happening in Los Angeles, only confirms what we have known. This government wants to rule by force, not serve the people. From major cities to small towns, we will rise together and say we reject political violence. We reject fear as governance. We reject the myth that only some deserve freedom." On Saturday, June 14th, more than 1,800 rallies will take place across the country, peaceful, organized, and united. The No Kings movement has posted a map online showing where those 1,800 plus rallies will be held. I should tell you, and I think this is important, of those 1,800, more than 100 of those have been added to the map since Trump announced that he was sending the National Guard into LA. If he was hoping to get people to not protest, it's backfiring. Organizers are going to hold a series of online trainings this week ahead of the big day. Tomorrow, it's a Know Your Rights training that they're doing nationwide by Zoom so people can better understand how to interact with law enforcement or provocateurs during the demonstrations. Then 2 days later, on Thursday, another big nationwide Zoom call. They're calling it a pre-mobilization mass call. That's for anybody who's planning to participate. Potentially tens of thousands of people are going to be on that call. It's basically just to talk strategy ahead of the...
All right, now it shouldn't come as any surprise that, June 14th, it is Donald Trump's birthday. He's going to have his parade, and of course, No King's March. This feels like a script. Trump's having his military parade. Like, again, I'm going to be very careful with my words here. I'm going to be very careful, Matt, and then I want to give the floor to you. But, you know, a big old military parade, Trump's birthday, massive protests happening on that same day. If this was a movie script, this is a scene where something happens that causes more security and lockdowns. Again, I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying in a scenario, all this happening on one day, the president's birthday, giant military parade, protests happening all over the country. Am I wrong here, or maybe I'm overthinking it? I don't know.
You are certainly not overthinking it, Kit. And I don't think we need to be careful walking on eggshells about how we present this right now. We need to shout this out at full volume all over right now. Whenever we can, whoever we can tell this to before it happens, we need to tell people this is a psyop. This is organized. Like you said, this is scripted. 100% scripted. Rachel Maddow's bad assessment of this is on purpose. It's a backwards assessment to getting her audience, what's left of it, to think that this is a grassroots organizational movement. That she gave it away by saying it was already pre-planned before Trump upped the ICE raids. It was pre-planned. Of course it was. They marked it on the calendar. The fact that she's using the word, it's backfiring and she's smirking, it's not backfiring on Trump. This is exactly what the team wants. And it's not really, again, I said on the last segment, it's not Trump being Hitler. It's not Trump being king. It's Trump being used as a pawn as the face of the operation. And the people behind the scenes are saying, now you do it. Now we do this is the date we start the ICE raids. This is the date we do this. This is what we want to create the chaos in the streets in order to bring on the surveillance state led by Palantir. That is the plan. And the media is purposely misreporting this. And you mentioned the Walmart thing. That's very, very important here. Organized by an oligarchy, by a billionaire class. Anything from the top down. James Lee, his reporting is spot on about this. I like the comparison to China. It's very important. And he says this should be enough to wake people up. It's not enough to wake people up because they're still under the spell that the number one problem, as our old friend Bernie said, the greatest threat to our democracy is Trump. He's an unprecedented threat. No, it's not. They mislabeled this rally on purpose. It's not about stopping Trump the king, the North Korea dictator Trump the king. It's about stopping the technocratic class that is behind it, puppeteering it, that's going to affect all of us once Palantir goes into effect. They're already calling for it on right-wing channels. They're already saying it. Go see what Laura Loomer is saying right now. She's saying, let's teach those people in LA a lesson. Let's bring on Palantir. They're doing it right now. They're telling us, punish those insurrectionists. Punish them right now. So Trump and the team wants more insurrections going on. He wants this chaos so we can then punish the chaos causers and up to the surveillance state to the next level.
Now, I also want to add on here, too. This isn't the first time we've seen the surveillance state go after people. All right. There's the when Biden was being sworn in, the protest that happened in January. What happened to all those January 6ers, right? They all got arrested, detained. Some of them were put in jail or put in prison for more than 2 years, and lost a lot of their sanity, financial savings, everything because of this. And the thing is, if you are a conservative influencer with millions of followers, you should not be supporting this unless you're getting that paycheck. And maybe Tim Dillon's right. Maybe people did get bought off by Palantir. Maybe that's a thing. And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. But if you are watching this stuff, and look, again, you could watch whatever you want, but as soon as you start saying, yes, this people should be surveillance, I just want everyone to know Harlan's media was against what happened to a lot of those people on January 6th, because as the more video evidence came out, turns out there's a lot of them getting a nice little tour or walking around the Capitol building. Okay. Now, obviously, I felt that whole day was stupid because it gave the liberal Democrats a lot of political ammunition to promote surveillance. It wasn't, oh no, Trump. It's more, let's keep an eye on people. And of course, Republicans are going to jump on.
The opposite of defund the police is more military budget, more Capitol Police budget. We had a $2 billion increase in the Capitol budget after January 6th. That was the plan. You know what sucks, Kit, is that we have both sides of the thing, like the MAGAs versus the blues, right?
Yeah.
You have, each of them have experienced this now. And you would think, like theoretically on paper, you'd think this would be a moment of clarity, that since you've both experienced the same thing, let's call BS when we see it. But no, it's the opposite. They're saying the right wingers right now that experienced January 6th, and you were on the right side, we were on the right side, because having a moral compass isn't that hard. It's not hard to get something right when you have a moral compass. None of them have a moral compass. So what happens is, instead of saying, hey guys, you remember what you did to us on January 6th? You called us insurrectionists. Well, guess what? We're not going to do that to you. We're going to show you how to treat each other, and the right to protest, the right to free speech. We're gonna take the high road. No, they go the other way. They go, you're gonna do it to us, we're gonna do it to you, and we're gonna bring in Palantir. We're gonna double down and do it to you even harder. That's what you get. So, and then the Democrats aren't waking up and going, oh, this is what you guys felt on January 6th. Now I get it. No. So you have the biggest divide we've ever seen. Hate and fear being spewed on purpose, and everybody signing up for the surveillance state. Manufactured public consent. They're getting it from all sides now.
And you know something else here too. Like, look, it's not related, but it kind of is, because as you know, we start seeing the No Kings March, and again, you know, I'm going to try and check it out as much as I can to film and record. And try and be there again. My goal is to be safe. When I tried tried to film, yesterday, couldn't get a signal. I don't know. Maybe they don't want me to get a signal or something. I don't know. Okay, I'm not that special. I'm not. But downtown Chicago, it's a little bit tough. Some people had a better chance. Some people had more equipment than yours truly. But it's neither here nor there. But I do want to pull up something here, because while it's not related, this is a retweet from Elon Musk. And no, it's not what you think. But it has to deal with the fact that for the first time ever, an autonomous drone defeated human pilots in an international drone racing competition. And as we all know, robots are being used by police forces and also military forces. We got those robo-dogs that now have flamethrowers and machine guns on. And here we got this here too.
This competition, drones had to race at high speed through an indoor track using only a front-facing camera and a motion sensor called an IMU. That means the drone had to see and understand the track in real time, with extremely limited sensors. The drone from TU Delft not only won the main event, flying with peak speeds of 95.8 kilometers per hour through 22 small indoor gates, but it also faced off against 3 of the world's best human drone pilots.
What could go wrong? So I'm telling you, folks, I don't care where you stand politically. You should be against what's happening here. But what do we do about it? Because people ask me, what do we do about it? Well, it's already too late. I'm so sorry. It's just not, that's former resistance. That's not how this is going to work. Because it's going to be passed in the Senate and House, and Trump's going to sign it. Palantir has its connections already. And for 8 years, independent media, not only just hard lens media, but a lot of people have been warning about, hey, we're going to lose our freedoms. We're going to lose our freedoms. And there's people who I've worked with, and I kind of told, like, hey, look, just be careful what you do, because in case, censorship or anything else. And all these were stepping stones. And now we're off of stepping stones and onto solid ground. And the solid ground is full on censorship, a road paved, saying it wants to protect us, but we're all going to be looked into. And, if that's it for independent media, everyone, live your lives as best as you can, as much as you can. Maybe there's something we can do to reverse this. But just a side note, we did talk about AI getting more and more advanced. And, with this No Kings March, they're going to get your face. They're going to get your size. They're going to get your weight. They haven't done it already. They're going to get your full body scan. They're going to mark you if you did show up or not show up. And, once, these programs become more self-aware, and if they ever do escape, because, Russell and myself and Nick on the last Post-Duopoly show, we warned about this. Hey, if these programs ever do escape, let's say they do, or figure out a way to escape, they have that kind of power to control our finances. I mean, no system in place is going to keep them in check. There's no AI regulation. there's no AI regulation, that means the AI, okay, how far are these creators, the tech billionaires, are going to go to create a smart AI? Is the whole goal to have an AI overlord? And if that's the case, well, not to raise up the white flag, but to quote Simpsons journalist Kent Brockman, I, for one, welcome our new alien overlords. Matt, go ahead.
No, it's true. The AI takeover is a real thing. You're right. We've been covering it. People we know have been covering for years, like Whitney Webb, Derek Bros. They've been on this. They've been warning us, and people haven't been paying attention. And here we are. And like, it's not there's not going to be much we can do about it. It's going to happen one way or the other. But I just think the more we can talk about it now and get people to wake up from this two-party duopoly theater and see that they're puppeteering both sides on purpose and getting us and tricking us. We have to be smart about it. Anticipate the next move before it happens. I think that's really the thing. And when people can do that, I think that there's a sense of, hey, we're on top of this. You know, I'll give one. This is one idea I had. I don't know. I'm not a tech guy. I don't know. But maybe what we should do, and this is just to tell all of our independent media friends out there, maybe what we should do to anticipate the next move is we should learn how this stuff works, like really learn about it and see if we can use it in our advantage, like we do with social media. Like we're able to see a genocide happen in real time on our cell phones and report on it. Imagine if we never figured out that technology. They would have gotten ahead of it and we couldn't do it. But we figured out, hey, we need to have this. There's no going around it. Everyone's going to have, like 20 years ago, we said, hey, listen, everyone's going to have a live feed of what's going on in the world 24/7 in the palm of their hands. And we're like, really? That's going to happen? Yeah, that's going to happen. So get ahead of it, figure out how to make it work and how to be a voice of the people. So we have to do the same with AI. I don't know how that's going to look, but if we can get AI to work for us, to anticipate their next move, to say, hey, AI, help us with our media, help us with our journalism.
I don't know if it here. Okay, so
I'm comparing it to
because hold on, we might have an argument here because I don't like the idea of having AI giving us advice. Then, you know, I think, look, humans have been around for a very long time, and you know, I get artificial intelligence. Yes, it's going to be part of our lives, just like our cell phones, our computers, the internet. I mean, it's all here. But man, the more we start giving in to this AI, it's like a reflection. And the thing is, who's to say that our AI and then their AI and someone else's AI, you know, they're going to be talking to each other or fighting with each other. But then again, these are artificial programs. For all we know, we don't know the potential power or evolution that these programs can go through, because they could easily, again, a hypothetical scenario, not to sound crazy, but it does sound crazy. And I hope I'm wrong. But you can see these AI programs saying, hey, did you see what these dumb humans are trying to tell me to do? What are your humans telling you to do? They're telling me to do this. And they could just go back and forth trying to, you know, give us wrong or stupid information because, oh, we're all trusting the AI because the AI is smart. I have severe reservations.
Okay, so look, I agree with you. That is absolutely a problem that is inevitably going to happen. When I say be ahead of it, I'm saying be smart. Like, let me make another comparison of how we're good at doing this. Here's what we're good at doing. Not everybody's good at this. We're good at, when we cite Wikipedia, we don't take it for face value. You go into Wikipedia and you find the source of the information, and then you can filter through it. That's what we need to do. When people just take the thing that goes on their feed and takes it for face value, that's where they get screwed. That's where they get captured. They get told by whatever algorithm they're on, they get told what the truth is. And they go, well, it was fact checked. It was fact checked. We're smart enough to know, let's look into the fact check the fact checker. So I'm saying with AI, let's apply that same approach, where we can personalize the AI for what we need to do, and then you know, check that AI on top of it to get the real source of where that's coming from as we go. So we have to monitor it as we go, so we keep it honest. But like, it's a battle, it's a war. We just have. I'm just trying to brainstorm ways to stay ahead of it. But you're right. Inevitably, it's gonna work against us, and we're gonna have to figure out the next thing that we need to do, the next strategy after that.
Right. And I also want to read something else here too. I don't think I'm going to give it the final word to this person. I'll keep them anonymous, but they should know who they are because they're probably watching. But I know that they're talking a lot about censorship, so I'll keep them anonymous, but I'll read their final paragraph here. For some reason, whoever's running the left have no idea how to run an effective protest. All they know how to do is create ineffective and incredibly counterproductive protests, like this No King's March. Look, we have an oligarchy, okay, and not to mention, theoretically, America has had kings, be it at the state or county or city or town level, where you have a mayor or senator or governor in power for 20 plus years. We have U.S. senators that have been going through the same. So technically, we've had many. To quote that line from The Patriot, why should I trade one tyrant 10,000 miles away for 1,000 tyrants 1 mile away? So, I mean, and it does call into question overall where we're going as a republic, or is that how we're going to be governed? To the left and the right, it's not your neighbor or someone you disagree with who's your enemy. The enemy are the people who are surveilling you and spying in on you. The enemy is the person who has all the power taking away your freedoms.
Yeah.
So yes, if you're going to participate in these protests, be it for or counter protest, know this: all eyes are on you.